Morning! And thanks for tuning in for some Breakfast Tunes, where we go step by step using simple shapes like eggs, sausages, and toast to build our favorite cartoons. Today, we're going to learn how to draw Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes. Are you ready? Then let's get cooking. Now remember, the key to great cartoons is to be light and loose and messy with your pencil. Nobody can draw a perfect circle, so please stop trying to be perfect. Just have fun drawing messy eggs and sausages and other simple shapes and seeing what you make when you put them all together. And the best part? If you're light with your pencil, you can always go back with a darker pencil or a marker afterwards and keep the lines you want and erase the ones you don't. Sound good? Awesome. Now let's get busy making mistakes. All right, friends, let's get started drawing one of my favorite cartoon characters of all time, Calvin, from the comic strip Calvin and Hobbes. I know it's an oldie, but it's a goodie, so I hope you enjoy following along with me as we draw this awesome character. Now, as always, all you're going to need is a pencil, an eraser, and if you like, you can follow along at the end of the video when I show you a cool trick that we can do with a black marker. Okay, so let's begin. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, put my pencil like always near the middle of the page. I'm going to go down just a little bit. I'm going to draw a kind of piece of toast. I'm going to do it a little bit on an angle too. So like always, I'm going to not worry about being perfect. Turn the corner here, nice and light. I'm going to do it on a bit of an angle. And this is going to be Calvin's head. So I'm going to go up and around. Let's turn the corner here and do this kind of piece of toast a little bit on an angle. Doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. Okay, great. Now, what I'm going to do is somewhere in the bottom here, but at the bottom of this piece of toast, I'm going to do kind of like a piece of bacon or a rectangle. So I'm going to go down, maybe put a little bit of a curve to this piece of bacon too. So I'm going to go down and around there, just out a bit, and then I'm going to go across. Doesn't have to be perfect, and then I'm going to connect it back up here. Okay, there we go. And see, like this little line here, I can erase that later, and that's why I don't really need it, but that's why we do it nice and light with our pencil. We draw nice and light. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to go to the bottom here. I'm going to draw just a little squiggly line down a little bit, not too far. And then what I'm going to do is draw a little egg that goes up and around. A little bit more flat on the bottom. This is going to be a shoe. So I'm going to come around that. Just draw a little egg. Then we can connect this here. Okay. And the next thing is I'm going to do the same thing for his other shoe, but because it's behind this foot, I don't have to draw the whole egg. So I'm going to do about the same shape and just have it go out like a letter C a little bit and then back. Great. And it can just hide behind there like a letter. See how it's like a letter C or a half egg? And then I'm just going to do a little squiggly line there and another one just in the middle there. And those are going to be, so now we have his feet, his pants, and his shirt. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to this corner where this piece of toast meets this piece of bacon here, this rectangle. And I like to sometimes put little dots so I know where to start and end. So I'm going to go up here just a little bit, put a little dot, and then I'm going to go back to the corner and down a little bit and put a little dot there. And now what I'm going to do is do another little piece of bacon and just go out and up and back. And that's going to be for his sleeve. Okay. And now I'm going to do the same thing out here. I'm going to put a little dot. See this corner? I'm going to put a little dot, maybe a little dot, then go out and down to finish off the rectangle. There we go.
Right, you know what? I'm going to make that a little bit shorter there, just so it fits. There we go. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue this line straight and then go about halfway up, and I'm just going to draw another little line. This is going to be where his hand starts. So I'm going to draw just a little circle here. And that's going to help us guide us where we're going to put his fingers. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to continue this line just out, continue out a little bit, and halfway up I'm going to do the same thing, nice and light, and then I'm going to do another little light circle here. Okay, great. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to draw Calvin's fingers. So I'm going to draw just a little. He's got 3 fingers and 1 thumb. So I'm going to draw some little half eggs. There's one, or a little letter U there. I'm going to draw another one. Going there. And I'll draw his 3rd finger, kind of like a backwards letter C or a half egg there. And then I'm going to go up to where the circle meets this line, and I'm going to do this egg going this way for the thumb. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to come down. I'm going to do a little letter U. Nice and light. Then another one. And then one more. Kind of like, it almost looks like a flower, doesn't it? If we were drawing a flower. And then I'm going to come over to this little point, and I'm going to do this thumb going this way. There we go. And we can erase these little lines later if you want. I'll show you one we would erase is that. We don't need that one, but we can do the rest of it later when we use our marker. Okay, now let's go and draw some of Calvin's head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my pencil kind of in the middle of this piece of toast, and then I'm going to go over to the side here, find the line. I'm going to make a little dot. We're going to draw Calvin's ear. So I'll make a little dot there, and then I'm going to go down just a little bit, maybe halfway between the corner and that dot. I'm going to put another little dot. And this is where we're going to draw the ear. So I'm going to draw a kind of like a backwards letter C or a half egg that goes out, lots of little lines instead of trying to do it all perfect with one, and back in. There we go. Back in, and that's where we stop, around where the dot is. Awesome. Okay, next thing is Calvin's head isn't perfectly rectangular or like a piece of toast. He's got a little area, it goes in a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this line, and I'm going to make just a little bulge here. There we go, just a little bulge. And this little line inside we don't need, so I'm going to take it out right now, but we'll get it later when we use our marker. Okay, now what's next? How about we do Calvin's hair? So Calvin's hair is actually pretty easy because it's just a few lines and triangles. So I'm going to go up to the corner here where we turn the corner on this piece of toast. And I'm just going to do one line straight out like that. He's got some spikes in the back of his hair here. So then I'm going to, beside it, I'm going to do kind of like a letter L almost. I'm going to go out, come in like that, and then out again like a letter. See how it's like a letter L? Okay. Now underneath that, I'm going to do another straight line, a couple of little lines there, and maybe even a couple little lines inside his head there. And again, see this little line here? If you want, you can erase it now. We don't need it right now or anymore. So we can erase that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is let's go over to the top here, and I'm going to draw for his hairline just below this line. I'm going to draw a line like that, and then another little line above there. And that's going to be his hairline, and you'll see how it all comes together soon. Okay, now on this corner, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw just a straight line out, and that's one bit of hair, and then I'm going to draw another one, a little shorter, and a couple more going that way. Okay, now let's take the top of this ear, let's draw an imaginary line all the way across. We'll make a little dot there. So I've just gone from here across. And then we're just going to do the same thing with his ear. And I'm going to draw letter C, but it's hidden behind his cheek here. So we don't have to draw the whole. We just need a little curve there. Great. Okay. Now to finish off Calvin's hair, all we really need is 3 kind of half pieces of toast or triangles. So, and they get bigger as they go along. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go up just maybe to about there. I'll put a little dot and then where I come back down. So I'm just going to go up and back. Now the next one is a little bit bigger. So I'm going to put it a little higher there, a dot. And I'm going to start here and go up and back down. And then the last one is the biggest triangle of all. So I'm going to go put it way up here. Now what I'm going to do is draw a line that goes out to there and back. Great. Okay. So we've got almost all of Calvin complete. Now we're just going to do my favorite part of any cartoon, and that is the face and the eyes. The eyes especially, because I find that's what really brings the character to life. Okay, so what I'm going to do is somewhere in the middle, I'm going to put my pencil somewhere in the middle here, and I am going to draw a letter C. So I'm going to go out and around the corner and back like this. See how it's like a letter C? There we go, real simple, nice and light. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little dot here below the C and maybe a little dot. And I'm going to do my best to draw. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, but I'm going to draw just a little straight line going across here. And again, don't worry about it being perfect. And I love to sometimes turn my book around. I won't do that because it'll make you all dizzy, but I would usually, if I need to, I turn my book around and make it easier to draw the lines. But I'll just try my best today doing it with the page just like this, so I don't make anyone dizzy. Okay, now what we're going to do is under this line, we're going to make it into a triangle, kind of like a half piece of toast like we did above. So I'm going to make a little line somewhere around here. And then I'm going to draw a line that connects, and then another line that connects up to this part. There we go. And then what I'm going to do inside is just draw a little half circle for his tongue and a little line in between. Awesome. Okay, now what I'm going to do are the eyes. So I'm going to follow this line for Calvin's nose up a little bit, just above, and now I'm just going to draw a little egg. Just like that. And you know what? What little trick we can do this with the marker after, but you can color in the bottom half of the egg and leave the top half white. And that shows a little reflection. Now what I'm going to do is just go over a little bit, maybe not right above the edge, just over to the side, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just do another little egg there. And do the same thing where I'm going to just color in the bottom. Awesome. There we go. Okay, so we're almost done drawing Calvin. So a couple little details. What we're going to do is put some lines on his shirt. So I'm going to go along and just draw. He's got some black lines on his red shirt. I'm just going to do a few going across. Try and keep them evenly spaced a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. Like that. Do one more. Now I'm going to do the same over here on his shirt, but for his sleeve, I'm going to do the lines going this way. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1. We can probably only fit 2 there. That's fine. Okay. Now, last thing, on his shoe, he has some little details. So near the top here, I'm just going to do a little curved line like this. That's the top of his shoe. I'm going to do the same thing there. And then he's got one little line for where his laces are. Great. Okay, now, one of the last things we're going to do is, now you could draw Calvin anywhere. Calvin's got a huge imagination. Spaceman Spiff going to Mars, or running from dinosaurs, or wherever his daydreams take him. So you could draw anything you want in the background. But to keep the video nice and short and allow you to then go and express your creativity, I'm just going to do a very simple little few lines, just little squiggly lines, to give him that he's out, maybe in the forest, playing with Hobbes on the grass, just to give him a little place to stand there. But you, of course, can do anything you like, any type of background. And the next lesson is going to be Hobbes. So maybe you'll want to put Hobbes right beside Calvin if you do the next drawing lesson. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my eraser and we don't need these little lines, this little line up here. And I'm just going to take off this little extra bit so I know where to go with my marker. And we are about done with the pencil drawing of Calvin. How did you do? I'm going to take a break for a moment, and I'm going to grab my black marker. And in the next section, I'm going to show you a cool little trick that you can do to end up with a beautiful, bold black outline. Okay, so I've grabbed my black marker, and now I'm going to go over the lines that I want to keep and then leave it for a few moments and wait till it dries. And then I will take my eraser and get rid of all of the pencil lines that I don't want. You don't need to do this step if you don't want, but I do it in all the videos just to show you how it can be done and how neat it looks when you're done. Now, as always, because I'm left-handed, I'm going to start on this side, drawing all the lines, working my way to the left so that I don't draw over here and smudge with my hand. Now, if you're right-handed, you'll want to start on the left side and do all these and go away from your hand. So that's just a little trick. Okay, here we go. And again, I'm not going to worry so much about being perfect with the marker. Just be loose and have fun with it. Oops, I better watch now because I've gone all the way over here and I don't want to drag my hand. So I almost broke my own rule there. And sometimes that happens, and that's okay. It's not the end of the world. So you can see I'm leaving those little lines around the circle because I don't need those, and I'll erase those after. I was going to draw over here, but you know what? I'm going to do these lines first. Okay, so now I've given it a few minutes to let the marker dry, and I'm going to take my eraser and go over all of these pencil lines that I don't want to reveal just the bold black outline. Here we go. All right, there we go. Great job following along as we drew Calvin from one of my all-time favorite comic strips, Calvin and Hobbes. So I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did and that you keep practicing your drawing and maybe even inventing your own characters, always thinking of using eggs, sausages, toast, bacon, and other simple shapes. Check back soon because in the next video, we're going to be drawing Calvin's partner in crime, Hobbes. So until next time, keep creating and check back soon for more Breakfast Toons. Hey Breakfast Tuners! If you enjoyed today's video, please hit like and subscribe so that you'll know when the next video is posted. Also, I'll be adding new activity sheets on a regular basis at caresmithcreations.com, and you can find updates on Instagram at caresmithcreations. See you soon and keep on tuning.